call this meeting to order. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you everyone here and at home for joining us. For board roll, all members of the board are present and accounted for, with the exception of Trustee Boyd Devine. Next, we have a minutes. Is there a motion to adopt the second? Moving second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution has been adopted. So moving on, we have a public hearing for the 2022 and 2023 budget. I guess I will open the hearing to receive comments from the public and staff and board.
He's going to do a presentation.
Jumping down there, we have a presentation first.
Yeah.
We do want to do it.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So we are doing, okay, apologies. We are receiving public comments from the board, public comments on the budget.
Well, just the general public comment section for the board meeting. Yeah.
I have that before.
It's okay.
Okay, so, sorry, let me get in the game. All right, this is the public comment section of the board meeting. Individuals wishing to address the board on any non-agenda items of interest to the public and within the board's jurisdiction may do so during this time. The board may not act upon items presented during the public comment, but may briefly respond to statements made, ask clarifying questions, or refer speakers to district staff for other resources. The procedure is to make a comment, please enter your name and email address. The board secretary or superintendent, today's superintendent is, will provide comments to the board and will enter them into the meeting minutes. So we will pause for a second for comments. I don't know why I was connecting both of them together. What's that? I should turn on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. We have Lawrence Newsom. And yes, go ahead.
Hi. So, new to this, I don't really know what happens here. So, I am coming to you guys with a concern that I currently have within one of the schools in this district. And so I have a kindergartner who goes to Glenwood Elementary, and he was assaulted on April 8th by another child. And I reached out to the school's principal to get support on what should be done. And so I emailed the school teacher and I did not get a reply whatsoever. And I understand that the spring break happened on the 11th. So I didn't expect a reply until after people got back. And once people got back, I still didn't receive a reply. So the day that school started back again, my child's mom went to the school to talk to the teacher, and the teacher stated that my child did come to her, and she did say she did not have time and to basically walk away, and never came back to address whatever his concern was. And so I also told my child's mom to talk to the principal, in which she did, and forward the email that I sent to the teacher to the principal. And basically, he was supposed to reach back out to me and never did. So from there, I think I waited about a week for a response from either the principal or the teacher and never did. And so called the school, left the message with the secretary, and nothing happened. Finally reached out to the superintendent. Never got an email back from him, but I did receive a call from the principal basically stating he's confused and why he's receiving an email from the superintendent about the situation. And when he stated that he spoke to my wife and it, and explained to her that he was going to keep the kids away from each other, such as the day that they came back or a few days later, they had a field trip and they kept the kids away from each other and whatnot. And I believe that's fine. I'm very understanding. I get it, but that's not good enough, especially when the incident that happened was a kid took scissors to my child's head, and cut 4 bald spots in his head, and also hit him up beside his neck where he had a red bruise for a while. And so after that happened, his mom was highly upset. And so when I spoke to the principal, I stated, I understand that, there's not enough teachers, it's a lot of kids, so I'm very understanding. Um, but I did want to have a conversation with the principal, the teacher, and the parents of understanding what's going on and what are we going to do. The principal stated that he would talk to the parents to see if they would have a meeting, but he stated, these are his words, that parents within this area do not like to have meetings with other parents because they feel like it's a attack towards their parenthood. And my response was, I'm not God. I'm not here to judge nobody. I just want to understand what happened. And so from there, the principal stated that he will get back to me the following Wednesday. Never did, so I had to reach back out. He also stated before that that he forgot to call me. And with an incident or a situation of this magnitude, you don't forget to call someone's parent about an assault that happened on their child. And so from there, I ended up reaching back out again after he said that he will let me know something by the end of the week because he was still waiting for a response from the parents. Finally, get a response after I've had to already email him for a second time. And basically, he states that the parents don't want to meet. And I was like, well, what happened? What did you guys do? Because according to your policies and your procedures, if there's any object involved when it comes to another child or whatever, they were at least supposed to be suspended. That didn't even happen. A conversation between my child and the other kid never happened. And so it's like, as my child ended up missing days of school because he didn't feel comfortable going to school, is a problem for me. I live in San Francisco. I had to leave work early today to be here, and that was a almost 2 hour drive. So reaching back out to the to the principal, I stated, well, since the parents don't want to have a meeting, um, I feel like I may have to take this to legal actions because I'm not asking for the child to get suspended at this point. I really don't care. I just want the common basic stuff to happen, and I don't want to get a kindergarten suspended or anything like that. But so I resent another incident happened that day with my child's mom and another parent, in which while we were talking about a whole completely different conversation, he stops me. He says, "Who dropped off Zaire today at school?" Well, it's not me because I don't live out there, so it's his mom. And so, an incident happened. I said, I already know. She called me and told me. And I already told her, you're going to expect to talk to her after this, and she's willing to talk to you. If she's not understanding something that you're trying to get across to her that she should understand, call me. I can most likely get to her and we can have this conversation. And that's what he mostly cared about, but he did not care about that my child was still assaulted. And so after that, I did talk to my partner about the situation. and he was not having it. He did not appreciate that it was just being neglected that way. And so we sent the final email to the principal and then CC'd the superintendent into that. It's been 2.5 weeks and I still haven't gotten a response. So I'm not sure if, and I don't want to blame other people, but I don't like the fact that this is happening. Like I told the principal, I understand bullying happens. I was mostly likely wanting to experience this in high school, not elementary, right? But the fact that it's an assault, and I told him if he would have missed his head and hit him in the neck, then we would have had a whole nother conversation. But he's still not taking it seriously, and I currently don't know what to do from here. And I know that you guys are the board, you guys can do something on that side, but I just want my situation to be heard and something to be done about this particular situation. But I think that's about it, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any more comments? Okay, we will now move on to the public hearing and budget for 2022-2023.
Just gonna do that. Okay. Good evening, President Barnes, board members, and Superintendent Reyes. Tonight, we're presenting the 2023 public hearing and adopted budget. So it's a two-step process. Today, we present the public hearing, and so we will request your approval at the next board meeting. That's the requirement. So keeping our goal, every student, our vision, every student reaches their potential in a growth-minded environment, rich in challenging practice, and reflected learning for all. Is that working? I'm sorry, I've done this.
Is it on?
Okay, so this is our we will cover tonight our budget assumptions. We will discuss our history, our average daily attendance, our general fund. We will review also where we are with the COVID-19 funds. We will discuss other funds, our side budget allocations, our multi-year projections, and what are our opportunities and challenge. Our budget assumptions, so, the majority of the revenue comes from the average daily attendance, local control funding formula. We are assuming a cost of living adjustment of what 6.56. There are two new items in the budget for Robla School District that I want to point out exactly what the numbers are. And one is the one-time discretionary fund, about $2.4 million, and the expanded learning opportunity grant that actually was discussed at the last board meeting. The funding has increased, is $4.3 million. So the one in the bottom is ongoing. The green is one-time funding. The other items is we receive lottery. The lottery is breakdown between restricted and unrestricted. Prop 20 is we can only use for instructional materials. It's about 65 per ADA, and the other one is unrestricted, about 163 per ADA that we use for instructional assistance. The other part is the pension increase, CalSTRS and CalPERS. That's an increase. This is an increase in expenditure, so that's not good for us, for the district. So we receive for, we were talking about a COLA 6.56 increase, but we had to pay about 2.5 in pensions, since the majority is our expenditures here are salaries and benefits. So this is a cost that the school districts had to. We don't get additional funding for this. It's part of the whole local control funding formula that we need to cover. All the assumptions in the 22-23 were presented the governor's main revise, and that includes a mandated block grant about $35 per ADA. In our 22-23, with a budget, we also assume all our carryover for the care funds, both the federal and the state, that we will discuss in the next slide. Our average daily attendance, I want to spend a little bit of time in this slide.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Can I turn it off?
Yeah, this is our third year in a row where our enrollment is below 2,000. So we have about pre-COVID, we have a decline in enrollment. So from 2020 to today, we have a decline in enrollment of 119 students. Okay, what happened? 119 students. If we will funding continue, that is about $1.5 million, about in 13,000. The good news is that because we are now we're getting funded on the average of 3 years, our loss is still declining, but it's only about 900,000. So it's not $1.5 million, but we still have 900, almost $1 million less, just because we have less students. I think it's really important that we understand when we have additional revenue addition, we just don't have the students that to continue getting that. So we need to plan for this decline in enrollment. Now just the next few slides is about general fund. 90% of our revenue is just from the state, local control funding formula through average daily attendance, and other state revenue. And the rest is 7% is federal and 3% is local grants. So this slide is just on numbers. Our total budget is in your package is $37.7 million, out of which 24.6 or equivalent to 65% is related to average daily attendance. We have our state revenue. You will compare this with previous years. Is significant higher, 25%, mainly due to the increase in discretionary funds and also the so we talk about expanded learning opportunity, and so we have about $6.7 million additional funding that we did not have at the state level. Now let's talk about the general fund expenditures. Our total budget, 70% of our total budget is for salaries and benefits. I want to make sure here that we are not settled at this point in time. When we were discussing last year, we were all settled. We are bargaining partners. We are not this year yet. We're working on it. Things are working well, but we are not settled yet. And then we have books and supplies about 7%. Other services is 11%. That includes all the utilities, especially costs. Those are the majority, and capital outlay. Any expenditure is greater than $5,000 per item goes in this slide. Our breakdown by salaries. When we talk about unrestricted budget, 85% of our budget is for salaries and benefits. Again, this is just numbers compared to this slide. Our COVID-19 funds, I think this is like the fourth time we present this slide. A lot of numbers in here. Just what I want to include is that this number in the bottom, the $4.2 million, that is the carryover that we are using for 2022-23 budget. So we have this is the number that is used estimated for 22-23. Besides the general fund, we have other funds. The yielding fund, by the next year, we will spend it all. We are wrapping up all our construction. The cafeteria fund we have a planned deficit spending because we have more fund balance that we're required to have. So, however, we in all of this we still ended in a positive balance. Child development, we have our preschool, just like our K6. They also preschool has experienced our younger kids a declining enrollment, even at a higher rate. And for next year we is probably continue declining enrollment. One of the reasons is because we're going to implement the TK kindergartner, and some of the students who were in preschool will be in the TK, so they are not part of the preschool. Another part in here is that JB McClatchy Foundation. We have applied for the grant, but it's not included in the budget because we cannot receive the award yet, and we cannot include it until they get award. And yeah, yesterday we have learned that our director, Krista Earhart, is leaving our program, so that will be changing in this child development fund. And the cafeteria, again, this is we had to child development in the cafeteria. We had to spend our fund balance because we can only have no more than six months of operating expenditures. Our building fund, they will all be completed by the next 22, 23. Probably it's going to be earlier on the year, by August, we expect to complete most of the projects. Capital facilities, this is where our developer fees revenues recorded appears to be about constant as this fiscal year. Our school side budget, these are the items that we have allocated funds to each school. We have a new item right here, is resilience for professional learning. This is based on our new LCAP goal. We have allocated funds for that purposes as well. Our multi-year projections, our budget is we had to provide not just the following year, but 2 years forward. We projecting at this point in time with our fund balance for the following years pretty constant, not much change. We had an influx of one-time funds that we had to plan with those funds how we use that, so we don't have to spend it all in 1 year. We could project it to spend it in year after year. Our challenges in practice, when I was working in this, you will see like declining enrollment, but so we the majority of the school districts in Sacramento County are experiencing declining enrollment. We have a school district in our neighborhood that is actually increased. They have increasing enrollment, so they have like a 3.1 increase in enrollment. That's a different challenge than when you have a declining enrollment. So when you provide increases in negotiations, so they have more money, they have more students. So that's when I bring that up. It's a challenge. Or as I was working on this, a lot of everybody's like the school districts getting a lot of money. We have to remember that we get in the budget based on history information, things that are already passed in the last year. So that's where the budget is based to. As we speaking now, or even within the last month, we kind of discussing is a recession coming up. A lot of the economists are talking about that, so we need to prepare for it, have our reserves adequate. I have been doing this for a while. It feels like I don't know. You remember when Governor Davis? There was 1 year when there was money. They even gave a refund for California citizens or residents in the school districts. We were getting a lot of money. In the following year, we were in a recession and get recalled. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but sometimes the ups goes downs like that. We have to be prepared for it. So we have to be flexible, and we plan for that. So that thing I put right here. So we have to manage our one-time funds so they can last us. That's what I use. What it means. All of that for that. It's recommended that the board approves the 2022-23 adopted budget. It's not today, it's for the following board meeting, so there's more questions. We still have time to respond to questions to the board or to the public. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. that presentation wasn't uploaded. Can you make sure
Once loaded.
the budget was uploaded twice, but the presentation was
But this was loaded twice?
no, the actual budget was uploaded twice, but the presentation was.
I thought it was okay.
We can send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Question, who was the neighboring district who had the increase?
It's not Thomas.
At
Oh,
Thomas.
that's all.
No, but you hear that. I mean, you see the. Yeah, it's not Thomas.
They
Yeah,
have a lot of new houses over there, building.
a lot of new housing, a lot of new development is, and then also they are getting. I hear they're getting students from other districts down south. So it's a 3.1% increase during this time. It's actually a lot
Mhm.
for enrollment. So you have the schools. Yeah.
Okay. I know that some districts are actually, at least there's reports they're seeking financial information from a number of districts in terms of how they spent their COVID money. Has there been any inquiries from the state? I mean, if we have to provide them any information about how we've spent it.
Yes, we actually provide quarterly reporting. It's information how we spend it. So yes, it's so the state collects the money from the districts and they provide it to the So they had, and what it has been a challenge, Mr. Deluz, is that they keep changing the rules. We have a system provided this way. Now they want a different format. So
It sounds to me like they don't like the numbers they're getting, so they're trying to get the information in a way that will make the numbers look better, but numbers don't necessarily change.
Along those lines, what's been the impact of them changing the way they ask for information? How has that impacted you?
we just a lot more time, more
Work.
time consuming. I try to create assistance and then that changes. I mean we get used to. I get that for a while, but it has been a little. So I mean this is a lot of money to compare to our budget that we have received. Right, we receive total is we have been almost $13.8 million that we have. So it has been it has been challenging, and also sometimes they want to even like like every quarter, but like you have to just do like the first or the following day. So sometimes you have to make some assumptions. Yeah. So
But has there been any? I mean, if they're changing it, they're it's not like Trustee Lewis said. Looks like they're looking for something and not getting it. And I'm saying not getting it from us. I'm just saying, but can you tell what they're not getting, and are we at risk of anything based on that? I mean, I'm kind of asking you to look into a crystal ball, but whatever they're looking for, is there a threat to us?
I don't have any concerns about that. Our auditors, ultimately the word is that the auditors, they give the requirements and that we've been audited. They were here last week. They added a couple of these programs. I don't have any concerns. I mean, things could come out, but I don't have any concerns like, oh, we put these funds at risk. I don't.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
That was actually an excellent question.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think I have my head fully in the game. I will open the hearing for comments from the public, staff, and the board.
Move to close the hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor of closing the hearing, say aye.
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 I think that's it, right? Opposed, abstentions. The hearing is closed. Moving on to action items. Okay. Item A, contract with Flint Builders Inc. for preschool siding repair for units 6, 7, 9, and 10, and landscaping improvements. Any comments?
Mr. Castillo.
Now, this item, so we has been the preschool program since I got here is that they need some touch up. So we were there today with Miss Christy, the Flynn Wilders, and Mark. So we're gonna paint the whole preschool program. That's what it is, and also those rooms that consider they had dry rot. they're gonna replace those and they're gonna be painted. So that's what we're doing. So we're doing I would call it's a touch up because it's not a major remodelization, but outside to make it more attractive. So that's what it is. So
Okay. Move to
let's
approve?
go.
Yes, thank you. I forgot to-
Second.
It's been motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to board member requests for future agenda items.
Nothing to request.
And I have nothing, and so this meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.